So what they've done is they've created all these adhesion contracts that people think are an agreement. And in fact, they are adhesion trusts. What's a trust? A trust is something you are executing yourself as trustee. So on the DMV, you never get a countersigned agreement from the Department of Motor Vehicles. On the SSA, you never get a countersigned agreement. On the drivers, never get a countersign, or excuse me, the voters, SSA, any of these agencies. They're not countersigning anything. Here's a contract, offer, acceptance, consideration, performance, full disclosure. None of that's happening. So what are you doing? You're creating trust. And you are saying, I am going to agree to all of this. And because I am getting the benefit of this license, this is why I'm going to agree to this. And I'm going to place myself in a position of an office holder, a US citizen, a taxpayer, and all these words that you agree to on these trusts. And then you turn them in and, oh, you great. Now you're an employee and you get all these benefits and you get a retirement, and it's worthless stone. And so what about all the, remember I said in the beginning, we're the only nation on the face of the earth that has created the remedy within all of the statutes, within all of the codes, within each of these public franchises. Self-executing trust, SSA. Self-executing trust, DMV. Why can't you, if you single-sided signed a DMV agreement, create a new agreement and have it attached to the original? Because number one, you weren't of an age of majority or an adult. You were a child. You were a minor child getting into an adult decision, and there's many things they did not fully disclose. So you're canceling the assignment of the trustee position. You're canceling the assignment of being the assurity, being the collateral, and you're reinstituting because they're unlawfully teaching that driving is a private capacity thing, and it is not. Driving stands for a commercial term where you're getting paid. So because they're not telling law enforcement, because they're not telling the FBI, and they're not training people on these things, and because it's all about money, we've created a structure which you create a contract that protects your interest by keeping the license in your wallet, but putting you in the beneficial interest of the registered organization and no longer the surety, and assign them the trustee position. To trust. Why not? You're the one that created it. And by them not responding, they're agreeing to it. By you putting into the public and serving constructive notice, game over. That's it. That's how we roll. And because we now have a passport applied for as a state citizen, offer, a passport issued, accepted, and certified copies of the passport application, evidence in any federal or state court, any of them. And because you cleaned up your act, you got rid of your personal bank account, you no longer are operating in commerce, you restructure yourself at your employment, you restructure yourself at all your adhesion trusts, and you've properly created the new contracts, and you put it in an active state that says, I am a private capacity citizen. Here's why I'm able to do this. And here's all the new proof behind it that you've agreed by acquiescence, and you've agreed at the State Department that I am a state citizen. Done. Now you're private, not public. Now you just got to get private here in your head. You got to know how to sign things. You got to know how to walk in the private and live in the private, operate in commerce. Sometimes it's in the public and you need to use that license. Well, if you're going to use that license, you're going to make money in that S corp, file the return for it. It's okay. Bleed the crap out of it before you do. Make donations to your foundation. This is what they do. This is what they've done for themselves. There's no reason why we can't make a donation to a foundation that you yourself are in control of, get the deduction on the corporate or the personal side, and then take the asset on the private side from that point forward. There's no reason why. There's no reason why you can't open up an account at a private exchange and buy cryptocurrency as that private account, which means that exchange is holding crypto for you as a private entity that has no responsibility when it goes from $1 to $100,000 a coin in 10 years or whatever. And there's no taxable liability. And there's no problem having a private bank in your hands that you hold in your hands. That is something that you can issue coin from at any time for the next 20 years. And anybody willing to accept coin is going to get a deposit from you. And they're not going to know where it came from because it came from a private bank. Now the EU is doing what they did in 1933. They're saying, oh, you got to turn in all your gold and to receive dollars. And that's what they told US citizens. And the EU is telling people, oh, you need to register your private banks. No, you don't. That's a private purchase. I'm sorry. I purchased it with my foundation. None of it's public. It's all private. But thank you for shopping. I really appreciate your time. But have a nice day. See, this is where we need to get private. This is the 90% that every American's failing at right now. I can get you in the private all day long, document wise. What my goal is to pull your head out from being in a public into understanding how to properly contract, how to deal with law enforcement with integrity, where you're not giving yourself over to them, where you're not getting arrested, how to deal with a judge with integrity, where you're not giving yourself over, where you're not getting detained in court, where you're not acting like a sovereign citizen piece of dung and you don't know what the heck you're doing. Where your paperwork stands on its own, where you know how to stand on your paperwork. I mean, these are all the things that we need to be considering. So long-winded answer, but worthy, I think.